Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Caleb McKay and I make games in Godot. I have started development on my first project, Vanishing Point. Vanishing Point is a survival horror game, the likes of Resident Evil, but with the atmosphere of Silent Hill. The premise is simple. You get a foreboding text from your brother and rush to his hometown, only to find out that there's no life in sight. However, that doesn't mean that you're alone. This idea heavily stems from an old Minecraft world I made when I was 15. I was recently going through my old stuff at midnight when I came across it. Not thinking it would be creepy at all, I opened it, and I was immediately shown how wrong I was. There was just something about it. It was lonely, but in a very uncomfortable way. There are a few areas, but for the sake of simplicity and to avoid spoilers, I'll just be showing the high school. From the moment you enter, you're immediately hit with this gnawing sense of tension, and I remember that was part of the design. I had specifically made it so that you're constantly looking down a long hallway and at a corner that hides who knows what. And upon entering any of the rooms, they too invoke a sense of unease. Every room is just unnerving. It's hard to describe, but at least to me, these rooms make me feel like something's wrong. Like I'm being watched, or about to be jumped by something. Eventually, you come across the courtyard, and this might just be the creepiest area. The tall grass hides anything that might be lurking there, and you may also realize that the second floor's lights are all off. I decided on this because there was going to be a monster in there, roaming the halls with you. Somewhere. I think this project was actually pretty good, especially for a 15-year-old, and after going through it again, I wanted nothing more than to finish what I started. I figured the best art style to replicate this feeling in a proper game would be the retro PS1 art style. So I started work on some concept art. I'm not the greatest at drawing, but I think I did alright. The next step was to begin learning. I actually made a game when I was 13 in Unity, so I have some knowledge in C#. However, as most of you know, Unity completely betrayed the trust of their users, so nobody ever really wants to use it again. So, when choosing a game engine, I was immediately drawn to Unreal Engine. While still being a corporate engine, Unreal is owned by Epic Games, the creators of Fortnite. Epic knows how to keep developers happy because they are developers, and they have a very good track record of competence. But there were two issues. Unreal uses C++, not C#. C++ is not only more complex than C#, but I also had no experience with it, so learning Unreal Engine would be a nightmare. The other issue is that Unreal Engine 5 is one of the best looking in the industry, capable of nearly real-world graphics. This rendering power is, to say the least, a little overkill for a PS1 style game and would only clutter my workspace with features that I can't use. That's when I came across Godot. Now, I'd heard of Godot before, but the engine was in a much different state at the time and I never expected it to reach the heights that it has. To put it simply, Godot is a game engine that isn't backed by a corporation. Godot engine is completely free to use and you don't even need an account. The catch before was that it had barely any features, but I must say that I was very impressed by what I saw in its current state. Godot seems to have even more built-in than Unity, while still being the cleanest engine I have ever seen. And here's the best part, it doesn't just use C++, it uses C++, GD script, and, you guessed it, C#. It's like it was made for me. I felt like I'd struck gold. I immediately knew that I would be using Godot from here on out. Godot is the future of indie game development. So, over the past couple of weeks, I've been learning Godot, using the course by Game Dev TV. The more I use it, the more confident I become with my choice, and I'm so glad I discovered it. I'm almost ready to begin the production stage, but expect devlogs to be rather infrequent as this is my first proper game. This concludes the devlog. If you made it to this point, I want to give you a huge thank you and announce my Patreon. Contributions allow me to dedicate more time to the game and are greatly appreciated. For $3, you can become a supporter and be featured right here at the end of the devlogs. And there's a special partner membership for $6, where your name will also be in the credits of the game when it comes out. Partners even have a say in development via polls, so if that interests you, and you have a few extra dollars, I'd be incredibly grateful for your support. That's all from me. Have a good one.